Thanks for joining us at the warehouse. My name's Tyson, and today we're going over how to pick the right skate. Now, it can be a little overwhelming when you're looking at all the different skates on our site. You may think, which skate's the best skate, but really there's no best skate on the market. There's only best skates for individual players. What might be the best skate for me is going to be different than what might be the best skate for you. So first thing you want to do when you go to select a skate is you want to know your own foot type. You want to know the size, your width, as well as your arch. If you don't have access to a way to actually measure your foot, you can base it off shoes that you may already have. One thing to note is if you're looking at a running shoe, that might be a little bit bigger, as well as skate shoes. Sometimes they run a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. So it's always best to try to base it off a dress shoe size or a sneaker. So for me, for example, I'm kind of in between a 9.5 and a 10 on shoes, depending on which brand it is. So my dress shoe, for example, though, is a 9.5, so that's what I'm going to base my skate selection off of. The next thing you want to do, after you have that, you also kind of want to keep in mind as far as do you have a wider foot, do you have a narrow foot, do you have a high arch, or do you have a low arch? Because this is going to help you later on when we look at the different manufacturers as far as defining which manufacturer might be best for your foot type. The next thing you want to think about is the different skates, they actually come in different widths. So basically, the standard width is going to be a D skate. From that, you can go with, there's both the C, which is going to be narrower, and then moving up from that, there's an R, which can be kind of considered as a D plus size, where it's a little bit wider than the D, but it's not quite as wide as the next one, which is going to be E and then double E. So we're going C, D, R, E, and then double E. And basically, a lot of people will be calling in and they'll kind of wonder, well, what's the difference between a D and an E in size? And there's no real answer for every single manufacturer, but a kind of rule of thumb or generic thing to think about is about 0.2 of an inch between those different sizes. All right, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is we're going to break down the different manufacturers and the characteristics or the general characteristics of each of those skates. So first thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to go over the forefoot of the skate. That's going to be this front portion, how wide that fits, as well as the volume, how much you have in this portion, and then the heel pocket, which is how tightly or how loosely the heel pocket fits. And then we're going to talk about the overall stance of the skate. And that's going to be how much of a position does it put your body in? Is it putting you in that aggressive position, or are you skating more upright? So the first skate we're going to look at is the Vapor. This is one of the most popular skates on the market, and it has a really popular fit to it. Starting at the front, we're going to go with a medium forefoot. It has a medium to low volume. It has a medium heel pocket, and it has an aggressive stance, meaning that it's going to put you in a little more of a forward lean position. Following that guy, we're going to take a look at the Bauer Supreme skate. Now, this skate has a little bit wider features than the Vapor. First, starting at the top, or on the forefoot, we have a medium to wide forefoot. We have a medium to high volume, a medium to wide heel pocket, and a traditional stance, meaning that this skate's going to be a little more of an upright position compared to the Vapor series. After that guy, we're going to take a look at the Reebok line, or the RBK. Now, the RBK has a medium to wide forefoot, a medium to high volume, a medium to wide heel pocket, and a traditional stance. And also another thing to note while we're looking at the Reeboks is the Reeboks actually have a pump feature on most of their higher end skates, as you can see right here. This actually has 2 air bladders on each side that allows you, as pumping up, to take some of that volume out of the heel to customize it to your foot a little more. Next one from that is we're going to take a look at the CCM. Now, if you're familiar with some of the older CCM models like the Tacx, they actually started sizing them a little bit narrower than how wide the old CCM Tacx used to be. According to CCM, they're using more of a V-shaped design, and basically what that is in the forefoot is you have a wide forefoot, then you have a medium to high volume, and then a medium heel pocket. And then also, like most of their skates, it does also have a traditional fit to it. Following that guy, we have the Easton line. And now the Easton has a medium forefoot. It has a medium volume to it, or as Easton's calling it, an ideal fit. And then it has a narrow heel pocket on it. Also, this skate is featuring a traditional stance to it. So you're, like, once again, pretty vertical in the initial stance when you put on these guys. Another thing to note is on the skates as far as sizing goes. Now, most skates don't use your typical shoe sizing. You actually are going to be moving a size and a half down on the other manufacturers that we talked about. So that's going to be Bauer, CCM, Reebok. You're all going to take a size and a half down from your regular shoe size. Easton's, however, is just going to be a half size down. So going back to the example of my shoe size, like I said, dress shoe, 9.5. So when I'm looking at Bauer, Reebok, or CCM skates, I'm going to be going to an 8. And for these guys, I'd be looking at about a 9. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at when picking out the right skate is where do you want to be in the line. All the manufacturers have their entry-level skates all the way up to the advanced pro level skates. Now, just because it's an advanced pro level skate does not mean that that's going to be the best skate for you. Basically, you want to match your level of play, how frequently you're skating, and the size of the skater, or how big you are. Basically, kind of looking at the difference between the lines, other than a few different materials used, the biggest difference when looking at an entry-level skate versus an advanced or pro level skate is the stiffness of the quarter panels. So pulling two of the CCMs up, this is one of the more entry-level skates in the CCM line, and you can see it has a lot more give to the quarter panels to it. It doesn't have as quite so much support as when you move up to one of their higher end ones, which in this quarter panel region, it's a lot stiffer and it's going to give more support. So when you look at a player, you're going to see, okay, he's a fairly larger player, he's skating quite a bit, and he's a pretty advanced player. That's going to signify that he's going to need an advanced or pro level skate. If you're brand new to the sport, and you're pretty average size and you're skating maybe once a week, going with more an entry level or a rec skate is really going to perform better for you and help you get the most out of your skate. If you're getting a skate that's too stiff for you, you might run the risk of never breaking it in and never getting the quite fit that you want. You're going to be in a little less comfort to it, which is going to make you not want to get on the ice as much. All right, so that was a quick look at how to pick the right skate for you. To do a quick summary of it, what we went through is first, we looked at your shoe size and your foot type. So once again, going back to my example, kind of in between the 9.5 and a 10 on shoes, went with the 9.5 dress shoe, and that's what I'm basing my skate selection on. Also noting that both Bauer, CCM, and Reebok are all a size and a half below your shoe size, and the Eastons are only a half size below. So once again, that 9.5, when I'm looking at the CCM, Bauer, Reebok, it's going to be an 8. When I'm looking at the Easton, it's going to be a 9. Following that is we're going to look at the different characteristics of them. Once again, using my foot type as an example, I have not as high of an arch, slightly on the narrower side, but otherwise pretty standard foot. So from that, I'm going to say that the Vapor line is going to fit my foot type a little better, and that's going to give me the best results. Also, going from there is you're going to look at how often you're playing, the size of skater you are, and your level of play. Once again, the higher the level of play, the stiffer skate you need to get the maximum performance features out of it. The heavier skater you are, the stiffer the quarter panels you need just to support your weight, as well as, if you're just starting on it or you're not skating that often, you don't want to get a skate that's going to be super stiff because you're going to run the risk of never fully breaking in. So once again, that was a quick look at how to select the right skate. Also, once you've selected a skate from us, and say like you're not quite sure on where to fit, good idea to check out our other video of how a hockey skate should properly fit. And also, it's always good to remember that we do have that free return shipping. So say like you get a skate and it's not exactly what you want, you can go ahead and get back. We'll make sure that we get you the right skate. Once again, my name's Tyson, and thanks for joining us at Ice Warehouse.